This week, we're in Philadelphia, where someone here will have their personal treasure selected for display at the National Geographic Museum in Washington, D.C.
This was the original artwork for the $1 bill.
I like to think it was on his person when he signed the Declaration of Independence.
This is where we keep our most secure documents.
Looks great. I've never seen one of these before. Wow, there it is.
Here we go. I'm Curt Doussett.
I'm Kinga Phillips. Yeah! We're searching the country for items with fascinating history.
This is George Washington's actual signature.
This was possibly made by Thomas Edison. This is the gun that killed Alexander Hamilton.
And objects with unexpected value.
Between $20,000 and $25,000.
Oh my God.
$80,000.
The object that most belongs in a museum is...
We're on the hunt for America's lost treasures.
We're at the Franklin Institute Science Museum, where we've invited people from all over Pennsylvania to bring us their prized possessions and incredible artifacts.
I believe it's a treasure because my grandmom gave it to me when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
These belong to my grandparents, and they were air raid wardens in World War II.
We're here in one of the most historic cities in America. I've got a really good feeling this is going to be my town. Hey, Phillips.
Doussett.
We're teaming up with the experts here to determine which of these items belong in the museum.
It's a flag that came from Lincoln's coffin.
It would be an honor to have this in the National Geographic Museum because it is something that no one has ever seen before.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to America's Lost Treasures. Thank you for coming out here today. Kinga and I are going to come out and see the items that you've brought in, and we're going to hear their stories and your stories as well.
Now, Curt and I will each select 3 items for further investigation, and then at the end of the week, one of you will be chosen to share your item with the world at the National Geographic Museum in Washington, D.C.
Let's see what you got.
What do we have here?
Well, it's some props. We believe they belong to Edwin Forrest.
Tell me about Edwin Forrest.
He was the first great American actor. He was the highest paid actor in the world for over 50 years. And he left all of his money for a retirement home for actors in Philadelphia.
And a good man to boot.
Yes.
Oh, how exciting. So we have a dagger, a shield, and a sword.
The thing that's fascinating about that, yes, it retracts.
That is exciting.
And what they used to do is they used to put a packet of animal blood in the back. And so when the sword collapsed, the blood would come out and you would see it on the, yes.
And the blood
Don't
would
hurt
just
yourself.
So it kind of hurt a little bit. These are really well-made pieces.
Yes, but I don't know what plays Edwin Forrest would have used these in, if he did at all. So that's what I'm interested in learning about.
This is a window into some of the earliest stage performances in America. If these props really are 150 years old, they deserve a standing ovation.
Is that a ring? What is that?
That is a seal that belonged to Robert Morris. Who was
the Robert Morris?
Right, financier of the Revolution.
Yeah, no, I know who he is.
Unsung hero of the Revolution.
Is he unsung?
I think he is.
Is he?
But I'm a little prejudiced because I'm his 8th-generation grandson.
Robert Morris raised tens of thousands of dollars to make sure General Washington had the supplies and the troops he needed to lead his men to victory. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This was actually used by Robert Morris, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence.
Yes. And we know it's a seal, but
Okay.
whether it's the actual seal that you would use to stamp a letter or something like
Okay.
that, I don't know. And it would be interesting to find out.
Let's find out.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Sounds like a good
Awesome.
deal to me.
It's a plan. Don't go
Thanks.
far. After the Revolution, Robert Morris continued to help shape the new nation, even becoming one of the 40 signatories of the Constitution. If this seal can be connected to a document from that time, this is definitely a lost treasure.
If Kristen's here, I know there's something good.
Absolutely.
What do you have?
We have a suffragette banner from the turn of the century when women were marching in the streets for votes for women.
Girl power, yeah. Do we have any history on this specific banner?
This piece came into my hands because my father was an upholsterer. He was reupholstering an antique chair, and the upholsterer before him had used this as webbing to support the springs of the seat. So
original recycling.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen, what do you think about this?
Certainly, it speaks to a time when women had to fight to get the vote. Although without the provenance of who owned it or where it might have been worn, that sort of gives it a little less weight.
Unfortunately, we can't connect this important symbol of the women's rights movement to anything other than an antique chair. Our expert says it's worth about $50.
What do you have? I have a couple letters here signed by Ruth Elder. She decided she was going to be the first woman to cross the Atlantic in an airplane.
After Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic in 1927, Ruth Elder declared herself Lady Lindy and set out to be the first woman to cross the pond.
On October 11th of 1927, her and her co-pilot, George Haldeman, they took off from Roosevelt Field in Long Island, New York.
Long Island, okay.
They did run into some rough storms. At one point, liberated woman that she was, she climbed out onto the tail of the plane to help hold it stable.
What?
All right. They knew they weren't going to make it to Europe. They ditched the plane in the ocean, were rescued, and within seconds of them being rescued, the gasoline hit the engine, the plane caught on fire, everything was lost.
Ruth Elder attempted this journey 5 years before Amelia Earhart actually accomplished it. But Elder's story is more interesting than her letters. Our expert values them at about $100.
What do you have here?
Picture of George Washington.
What you really have there, Dylan, is an artist proof for the $1 bill.
An artist proof is a print made early in the engraving process. It's used for the artist to inspect or approve their work.
The artist was Alfred Seeley, who was my great-great-grandfather.
He made the engraving.
He created
That was his job.
Yeah, and he signed his name in George Washington's ruffles. No one saw him, so that these actually went through on the first runs of the dollar bill, and then later editions, they caught it, and he had to pull it out.
I'm gonna see if this guy's story checks out. Because if this was used to make the first Washington dollar, this George could be worth a lot of bills.
But it's a very nice piece.
It is a very, very nice piece.
There's so many stories here about the men and women who built this nation.
He founded the first commercial bank in the United States.
Tales from the Civil War to civil rights.
And I just got guys who played in the Negro Leagues. These guys opened the door for Jackie Robinson, who opened the door for the Civil Rights Movement in the 50s.
And even legends from beyond. What'd you find?
Well, we found this fantastic painting that traces back to a very specific ghost story from the Civil War.
A ghost story?
Yes.
This is a Union soldier who was wounded, and the Confederacy took him to a hospital, and this was his nurse. She played a violin for him and played his last song, and then she died 2 weeks later of typhoid. And it's room 403 in what's now the Martha Washington Inn in Abingdon, Virginia, and they still can hear her playing the violin.
I love a good ghost story. Now, where did you get the painting?
An estate sale.
How much did you pay at the estate sale?
$200. And it's not signed, but it is the story. I just don't know who the artist was.
I love the story. What do you think about a value for something like this, Catherine?
Well, it's a little bit difficult as it's still a question about who the artist might be. However, because it has such a great story, I would probably value it in the $3,000 to $4,000 range.
$200 to $3,000 to $4,000?
Not a bad markup.
I love this story, but an undated, unsigned painting doesn't give me anything to go on. I'm gonna have to pass.
right, so what do you have here?
This is a Twig dueling pistol, John Twig.
The John Twig dueling pistol.
Yes.
May I? Thank you.
Certainly. These pistols normally come in pairs.
Yeah,
because
most of the guns do come in pairs.
Yes,
I
they
don't know
do.
if you've seen these guns. They come in a pair too. Where did you get this?
Hartford, Connecticut, about 6 years ago. I bought it because I knew the maker of the pistol to be very famous. Once I acquired the pistol, I started doing research on the name Twig.
Okay.
And
what did you find out?
This is the gun we believe that killed Alexander Hamilton.
We're in Philadelphia, our nation's first capital, on the hunt for America's lost treasures.
This is a Twig dueling pistol, John Twig.
The John Twig dueling pistol.
Yes. This is the gun we believe that killed Alexander Hamilton.
Really? In 1804, former Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton was killed in a notorious duel with his longtime political enemy and former Vice President Aaron Burr. So you're saying that you think this could be the gun that killed Alexander Hamilton?
I've got some proof.
Well, I'm going to need to see it because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, J.P. Morgan owns those and they're in a vault, correct?
Yes,
the
they
two
are.
guns.
I've seen them. There were two sets of pistols used in the Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton duel.
So you're saying Alexander Hamilton had two guns, Aaron Burr had two guns, 4 guns.
4 guns.
Okay.
That's the convention of the day.
Wow.
My greatest hope is somebody out there knows a little bit more of information about it.
I'm going to do my darndest to find that someone. The accepted story is that Hamilton and Burr had 1 gun each, both borrowed from Hamilton's brother-in-law, John Church. And it's the Church pistols that currently reside in the Chase Manhattan Bank in New York. But this guy's claiming that each man brought 2 guns, and he's got one of the 2 used by Aaron Burr. It sounds like a long shot, but if it's true, this would be huge. I gotta find out more.
Out of all the objects here today, Curt and I can only pick 3 each for further investigation. Well, I can tell you right now, she was made in China.
You might want to back up.
In the end, only 1 collector will have their treasure chosen for display in the National Geographic Museum.
Which means that only one of us can find the treasure. Wow. And I'm pretty sure Philly's gonna show me some brotherly love.
What I have is a hospital bullet from the battlefield at Vicksburg, Mississippi.
A hospital bullet. So this is a bullet from the Civil War. Now, why do you call it a hospital bullet?
It's what they gave you to bite on as they cut your leg off.
So the term "bite the bullet"
comes from
this little guy here.
Yes.
Oh my. Wow. And this one was used, obviously.
Yes. Those are actual teeth marks in there.
So they would saw your leg off, while somebody would.
While you're biting the bullet, and you're strapped down or somebody's holding it.
Good. This is clean, right?
Yes.
Good? How did you come across this? How did you get this?
In 1987, the Mississippi dropped to levels that hadn't been that low in 200 years. The battlefield at Vicksburg uncovered, and they found thousands of these bullets on the battlefield.
It's a fascinating piece of history, but battlefields were littered with bullets like this. Even with the teeth marks, our expert says this bullet is only worth about $10. I'm gonna keep looking.
These are documents from the estate of William Penn.
Okay.
His family sold land in Pennsylvania. It's dated in the 1740s. Yeah, this is the real deal with the wax seals.
Wow!
And everything.
William Penn founded Pennsylvania. In fact, his democratic principles inspired the writing of the U.S. Constitution.
Wow, what have you got?
I need our expert, Catherine Lindsay, to take a look at this.
These are the hand-signed documents that are involving land that is now part of Valley Forge National Historic Park.
So this is it changing hands
Yeah,
three
yep, there are
different
three
times,
different
describing the same piece of land.
Well, Catherine, what do you think?
This is something that talks about the history of the founding of our nation, you know. Pennsylvania was one of the first states in the Union, and this is one of the first national parks to be declared a national park came out of this land. I see William Penn's signature on here.
Well, it's not his signature.
Yeah.
It was his estate. And so the attorneys were signing for him.
You know, obviously if it had his signature on it, we'd be talking about a real special piece.
This deed involves land on Valley Forge. Since it wasn't signed by Penn, it isn't an American treasure, but our expert values it at $2,000.
So you brought this diary in. It belonged to your
great-great-grandfather.
Civil War?
It's the Civil War. So in 1865, of course, we know that Lincoln was assassinated. Now he had duty in the courtroom one day, where on May 16th, he wrote how he was on guard over the Lincoln Party conspirators. He documented that he saw on the table the bullet that killed the president, saw the 2 pistols and the carbine, saw a photograph of John Wilkes Booth, and the boot that was cut from Booth's leg by Dr. Mudd.
Yeah, where we get the phrase, your name is Mudd.
That's it. There you go, exactly.
I've read a book, I know.
So his claim to fame really is he was on guard for the execution of Mrs. Surratt, Payne, Altsred, and Harold. He documented the names of all the guards down the line on the left, and the last 4, which is written over here, he documented saying that they were the executioners, or the prop knockers, that knocked the poles out from underneath the trap doors when the conspirators were being hanged.
Wow. Everyone has heard of John Wilkes Booth, but less is known of the other Confederate sympathizers who conspired against the president. Our expert values it at about $10,000, but it's more of a family heirloom than a lost treasure.
Tell me about this dress.
Oh, it came from my family home, and it's been in my house for generations. And we have a closet full. And we're wondering what all to do with all this Victorian clothing.
I mean, the sleeves, the detail.
And each little ribbon, how they made the ribbons. And then this wonderful insert here in the front. And these beautiful buttons.
Why did you bring this piece?
Well, I thought that it was so unusual. There was so much detail to it.
Wouldn't it be exciting if this dress was made by a prominent designer at the time?
I'd love to find that out.
And me too. Authentic Victorian dresses can sell for more than $10,000. And work from famous designers of the era, like Charles Worth, are displayed in museums all over the world. If I can connect this dress to a specific designer, I might have a real treasure on my hands.
It's a 1930 Model A Ford Huckster truck.
Huckster truck?
Huckster truck.
Okay.
It's a truck that was used by the farmer to sell fruits and vegetables out of the back when he came to the city.
Well, this is in phenomenal condition. I mean,
it is.
And it runs. And
it runs, yes.
Can I get in?
Oh, you sure may.
A Ford truck? What's more American than that? Wow.
There you go. You're all ready to go sell fruits and vegetables.
They're so small here, just like the birth canal. So how rare are these things? I mean, I've never seen one. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these.
You know, you will find them. I'm not sure you're going to find them in this good
No, this is amazing. This truck is an icon of the Great Depression, an era that defined the American spirit. I'm betting it's an American treasure.
All right, we have seen everything the people of Philadelphia have brought out. Well, ladies, thank you for bringing this in and for sharing your story. I love that. Curt and I have both decided which objects could be the lost treasures we're looking for. I think we're gonna go head-to-head this week. What did you pick?
Well, I narrowed it down to 3, I think, amazing items. There was a 1930s Huckster truck. There was a seal that we know belonged to Robert Morris, one of our founding fathers. And then I think the most amazing piece that I've ever come across, and that is a pistol that could have shot Alexander Hamilton.
That's pretty impressive.
I just have to prove it.
Okay, those are amazing. Here are my 3 choices.
Let's hear 'em.
A dress from the Victorian era, a proof of George Washington that could have been used to make our dollar bill, and a dagger, a sword, and a shield from the first acting superstar of the 1800s. Wow.
Those are all very exciting pieces that are going to come in second.
You're a nightmare.
Now it's time to investigate these items further and find out which one is America's lost treasure. Me first. The 1804 duel between Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr is one of the most infamous moments in American history. But at open call, I found an object that could rewrite the story.
This is the gun we believe that killed Alexander Hamilton.
This is Bob, and this is Bob's gun.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Expert Fred D'Elia has been collecting and selling firearms for over 40 years. He'll be able to tell me if Fred's pistol really is a lost piece of history. Hey, Fred, where can I find a rifle? All right, so there's the gun. Let's dive into this.
Okay, may I take a look at it, Bob?
Certainly. This was manufactured in 1776 by John Twigg, a renowned gun maker, and it has the characteristics: the hair trigger, the front and rear sights, smooth bore barrel. Some of these items were required by the Code Duello, which was, as you know, the actual rules and regulations of how a duel was to be conducted.
Workmanship is unbelievable. You can see the engraving that they go through, the painstaking moves to get this gun right. It's a period-correct gun that I could see.
That's great news, actually.
Yes, it is.
So far, so good. The gun looks the part, but that doesn't mean it's actually from the right era. Fred, how are you going to authenticate this? What's the test?
If this is sterling silver, we can tell by this acid test. I'm going to touch a little piece of it. It turns white, it's sterling silver. It turns green, then it's not. It would be maybe a silver plating or something like that.
Silver plating wasn't invented until the 1830s. So for this gun to be a part of the 1804 duel, it would have to be real silver.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of acid right here. If this is sterling silver, we can tell by this acid test.
I'm at D'Elia's gun shop in Philadelphia, trying to prove that I have the gun that killed Alexander Hamilton.
I would say that's sterling silver. And I would date it back by the markings to 1776.
It passed that test, right?
Yes, it did. Yes, it is.
Very happy. What about you, Bob?
I'm very happy.
Good news? So far, we're right on target. But dating the pistol is only part of the story.
The record I have of any pistols is right here. They're in the possession of the Chase Manhattan Bank in New York, and the paper trail follows them right up to that bank. So we know they're authentic. That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
The fact that they are assumed to have been the only pistols at the duel is an assertion of the Chase Manhattan Bank, which I think is incorrect.
Most experts agree that there were only two guns used at the duel, one by Hamilton and one by Burr. But Bob has other ideas.
The convention of the time was that each gentleman had to have their own set of pistols. Alexander Hamilton borrowed a set from his brother-in-law, Church.
Correct.
Okay.
Aaron Burr sent his seconds out to borrow a set of pistols.
So Bob claims that Burr and Hamilton each had two pistols at the duel, and Bob's got the one that actually did the deed.
When these pistols were returned to the gentleman that they were borrowed from, William Armstrong, they found that someone had carved a small X in the buttstock of the pistol that was used to kill Alexander Hamilton.
Do we have enough documentation that goes all the way back to the duel?
That information about the Twig pistols being lent out and returned with a mark on them was contained in two family folklores that were published in the 19th century. So it's not something of recent concoction.
Bob, is there any documents that are from the Armstrong family? Is there anything written from them? Any paper?
I got the books.
Well, actually,
the family history.
Where are the documents at? I mean, you could read the books, but where are the documents? I mean, do they have them?
No, that's just from sections of the book. There's no real documents.
Okay.
And
I see.
I've searched for years for these documents.
I see.
So with all this information, do you think this is the gun that killed Alexander Hamilton?
No, I don't.
It's a great story, but a reference in a family history book just isn't enough hard evidence to call this a lost treasure.
I still feel strongly that A, there were 2 sets there that day, and B, this is the one that killed Alexander Hamilton.
You know what, this is all just a ton of great
It is.
information.
It
I
is.
wish we had more concrete evidence, more provenance for this that goes all the way back to that.
At the open call, tell me about this dress. Penny brought in a family heirloom that she thinks is from the Victorian era.
And we're wondering what all to do with all this Victorian clothing.
The sleeves, the detail. Queen Victoria ruled England from 1837 to 1901. Now, before this time, fashion was primarily focused on men. With the Queen in power, women's clothing came to the forefront. Keeping up with the latest styles became a way for women to display their family status and wealth to the world. And authentic Victorian gowns now sell for as much as $10,000. Our expert, Claire Soro, is the head curator here at the Drexel Historic Costume Collection. She'll be able to tell me how old this dress really is and if it's fit for a museum.
Okay. It does appear to be from the late 19th or early 20th century from the textile. But let me take a look a little closer.
Isn't it spectacular, though? Look at all the lace and the detail.
It is quite wonderful. This kind of over blouse effect. This is heavier in the chest with a small pointed waist in the front. And this accentuates what is called the S-curve corset. An S-curve refers to that shape that we're looking at over there. Now, this is the shape of that corset, and it's called S-curve because you're in this kind of S, kind of sinuous shape, where your rear end is thrust behind and your chest
So you're
is
basically standing like this the entire time?
Yeah,
Oh,
so think
my
about
gosh.
the small of your back.
Ouch. High fashion definitely came at a high price.
The silks from this time period were notoriously weighted with mineral salts, which made the silk heavier, denser, and it made a really great rustling noise when you walked around. However, the manufacturing process also damaged the silk.
They did it intentionally for the sound.
For the sound.
This is really interesting. They wanted noisy clothing.
Well, it showed off that you were wearing silk.
Victorian dresses were expensive, but they were also so fragile that they were often only worn a few times before being discarded. It's one of the reasons why they're so highly prized now. So the question is this a Victorian dress? What do you think?
I'm guessing it's about 1905, so it's not truly Victorian. It's past the date of Victoria's reign, so this period would be technically Edwardian.
Well, that's a bummer. Edwardian fashion is not as sought after as Victorian, but in good condition, it can still be worth a pretty penny.
I'm gonna open this up and take a look at the condition.
There's so many layers to this, it's like peeling an onion.
It is.
What about the condition of this dress? What do you think?
You can see how that silk has just disintegrated.
Oh, gosh.
That is some of that weighted silk that I expected to find. It just shreds and falls apart. It is certainly not in the best of shape. You know, this is a fragile dress made of silk, over 100 years old. It does have some damage, some condition issues that really hurt it as a potential museum piece.
This dress may not be museum worthy, but our expert tells us it's still worth about $700. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, gently.
Coming up,
Wow, there it is.
Kinga and I take a closer look at our items
This is where we keep our most secure documents. It's under quadruple lock.
and see which ones are on the road to the finals. Kinga and I are in Philadelphia, on the hunt for America's lost treasures. We still each have 2 objects left to investigate, but only one item will be chosen for display at the National Geographic Museum. Mine. Ron and I are at the Simeone Foundation Automotive Museum to find out if his Ford Huckster really is a lost treasure. Fred, how you doing?
Hi, Curt.
Hey, thanks for being with us. Automotive expert Fred Simeone has been in the business more than 50 years, and his family's museum displays classic American cars dating back as far as 1909. This is the Huckster?
Boy, she is a beauty. Well, this is your stock four-cylinder flathead Model A Ford engine. It's been properly restored with the correct hose clamps. It's been painted properly. It's accurately done. All the right pieces are here. The top's been redone.
I'll show you the inside there. I mean, everything is, it just looks beautiful.
All the right instruments. Everything looks really good. No, this is the real deal. This has all obviously been replaced, but it's been accurately done with the appropriate size of the slats. Whoever restored this car had some prototype or at least some good information.
The inside of this bad boy rocks. Let's see how she rolls. All right, so we're starting it up. It runs really good. How do you think this, the engine's doing?
The engine's doing fine. I really think she's pretty good tune. I think it's in good shape, actually.
Get your corn. Get your lima beans. I tell you, I think we got going. I think we're going 17, 18 miles an hour. What a rush. Who's in the driver's seat now, Kinga? Fred, I want you to tell Ron and I, do you think that this truck should be in a museum?
Well, it runs well, it's properly restored, it looks really nice. But a museum piece has to be something really special. The art world, you really preserve things. You don't take a piece of furniture and put new wood on it and refinish it if you want a classic piece. It isn't anything that you would cherish and you would expect to belong in a museum long term.
Since this truck was restored, a lot of the original parts were replaced, not preserved. That decreases its value and its significance, but our expert still values it at about 15 grand. That's a lot of cabbage.
I may have an artist proof made from an engraving for the first Washington dollar bill.
Alfred Seeley signed his name in George Washington's ruffles.
I'm taking this to the Conservation Center for Art and Historical Artifacts. The experts here actually restored the Constitution, so I'm hoping that they can prove that this proof is authentic. Okay, let me tell you guys what I have here. So Richard Jansen brought this in, who was the direct descendant of Alfred Seeley. And this was apparently used to create one of the first dollar bills. Wow. What I want from you guys is authentication, but also some more information.
Well, Alfred Seeley wasn't just an engraver. He was a very important engraver. I mean, the fact that he was chosen by the Bureau of Engraving and Printing to do the portraits of Washington for the dollar bill indicates that he had a pretty high standing in his field.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And he was selected to do this, actually, in 1867.
Selected to do this, to work on the dollar bill.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then the bill was first printed in, what, 69?
1869. This actual image shows up on $1 bills from 1869 all the way through 1917. Mm-hmm. And it's probably one of the most well-known Washington portraits that was engraved at that era.
So far, everything checks out. Now we just have to prove that this is actually Alfred Seeley's work. And what are you looking for here?
Right now I'm just looking at the printing ink, looking at the quality of the ink. Also, the paper is very typical of a 19th century print. It's a thick cotton printing paper that was often used for steel engravings such as this one. Oh, you can see all of the ruffles and detail on his shirt. And at the bottom,
what?
The paper is very typical of a 19th century print.
I'm at the Conservation Center for Art and Historical Artifacts to see if I have an original Alfred Seeley proof for the first Washington dollar bill.
Alfred Seeley signed his name in George Washington's ruffles.
Let's see. Oh, you can see all the ruffles and detail on his shirt. And at the bottom, what? Let's focus this in.
Look at that, A. Seeley.
A. Seeley.
Green, that's amazing. Can I look under the microscope?
Sure, go right ahead.
Wow, there it is, A. Seeley. And there, you can't see that with the naked eye at all. It's fantastic. So we basically have now verification that this is an authentic Seeley proof from that time period.
Mm-hmm. Well, this definitely confirms it for me as far as this was the plate that was used on the 1869 legal tenders.
It must be very historically significant.
Oh, I think it's significant. Number one, it has excellent condition. The face of Washington itself is very clean, it's very clear. We've proved its authenticity. As I understand from you, this came from a direct descendant.
So you think that this is a museum-worthy piece?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I have one more question for you, the big one.
What's that?
What is this worth?
At the museum, I met the descendant of a man who signed both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
That is a seal that belonged to Robert Morris, financier of the Revolution.
I'm taking this seal to the Historical Society of Pennsylvania, which is renowned for its manuscript collection dating back to the 1600s.
This is where we keep our most secure documents. It's under quadruple lock.
Their collection includes many documents signed and sealed by Robert Morris.
Here, why don't you take a couple and...
How many are in each box?
Oh, I would say probably about 100 in each box.
The Director of Collections, Lee Arnold, will be able to tell me if this seal belongs in a museum. You ready? The Robert Morris seal.
Wow. Well, that's something. I've never seen one of these before.
What can you tell me about Robert Morris?
Robert Morris is, in a sense, our first Secretary of the Treasury.
So he had the checkbook for the country.
He did.
Okay.
And not only did he have the checkbook for the country, more importantly, he had his own checkbook. He actually put his own credit up in order to keep the government going. He had such good credit and people had faith in him. And he's really what sort of got us through this really rough financial period back at that time.
What was his interest rate? Robert Morris was clearly an important guy, but is his seal really museum worthy? It's a beautiful piece, right?
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and I'm wondering how often it's been used because it's in really pristine shape. If we look to find some letters of Morris and to see what kind of seal they have, we can determine whether this was an everyday seal or whether it was a special seal.
Okay, great. Let's get cracking.
All right, let's see what we got. I'm seeing a little red here, so what do we got? We have
a seal.
A seal?
That looks like it might be initials or something.
I'm not seeing the horse that we see on the one that you brought. Ooh, look at that. How close are we with that?
Well, just right off the bat, I can tell we're not even close. This is round, and it looks like it has some very ornate letters. After nearly 100 documents, it looks like the verdict is in.
I think for letters going through the mail, he would use a traditional RM stamp. You can see that there's looks like a loop in here so that it was maybe put on a cord or some sort of string. And I'm wondering whether it was really for more ornamental use.
So kind of like colonial bling. Right?
That certainly could be it. I don't think because we didn't find it on an official or a correspondence document that it really diminishes the value that much. I really don't.
Okay, this seal wasn't used for Morris's official government business, but it still belonged to one of the most important figures in the founding of our nation, and it absolutely deserves to be in a museum.
Well, thank you for showing me that seal. I've never seen something like that. You got a real treasure on your hands. So thank you.
Appreciate
it. Bye-bye.
So these theatrical props seem to have a really interesting history. We're gonna try to connect them to Edwin Forrest, who was the Brad Pitt of his time.
He was the first great American actor. He was the highest paid actor in the world for over 50 years. But I don't know what plays Edwin Forrest would have used these in, if he did at all.
I'm at the Walnut Street Theater, America's oldest, to meet with famed theatrical producer Bernard Havard.
Welcome to the Walnut Street Theater.
Thank you.
And welcome to our hero, Edwin Forrest.
Is this him?
This is him. He's sort of our patron saint of the Walnut Street Theater, and you can see he's looking towards the stage, which is where we're going to go next.
Edwin Forrest debuted here in 1820 at the age of 14. He played legendary roles like Hamlet, King Lear, and Macbeth. And he even commissioned new plays to show off his talent. So these were the pieces that apparently belonged to Edwin Forrest. I mean, I can only imagine what kind of plays he used this in.
Well, it's been used. There's nicks all around it. This guy was very physical. He would design his own costume and get these props custom made for him.
He was a one-man band.
Well, he was a star, big star. Now, this piece is difficult to authenticate. We've got a couple of pictures here. This one, he's got a shield.
Oh, look at
that. You can see the shield, but you can see it's got a large spike on it, and it's definitely not that particular shield.
Okay, that is a bummer. Watch this.
Oh, the original retractable blade. You know what? Here's an etching. Edwin Forrest, Charlotte Cushman.
And he's holding a dagger. See the very tip of the handle there?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks rounded just like this one.
Yeah.
And he's holding it, and so we can't really see this beautiful piece on the handle, but that looks right to me.
It could definitely be the dagger that he was using, but I don't know how we could prove it.
All right, I've got one more chance. Look how gorgeous this whole thing is.
You know, this is a dead giveaway. Edwin Forrest engraved on the sword. And not only that, but we have a picture here, an etching.
Oh, that's the sword, that's it?
Yeah, absolutely, right there. So there's no doubt in anybody's mind about the authenticity of this particular sword.
Indisputable proof.
That's right.
Let's pull it out. Ah, wow. Take a look.
Yep. Oh my God, look at the size of that nick. He had some fight with somebody, that one.
He sure did.
Well, he used this in Coriolanus. Now, Coriolanus was a Roman warrior, and he fought his way to the top. He had to assassinate a lot of people to get where he got.
And this is the sword.
And this is the sword that got him there.
All right, this has all the markings of a weapon used in serious battle on stage over 150 years ago. This sword might just make the cut.
Coming up, Kinga and I find out who's uncovered America's lost treasure.
And the artifact that I'm going to choose is...
We're back at the Franklin Institute Science Museum in Philadelphia, and it's decision time.
I'm headed to the finals with the personal seal of Robert Morris, the financier of the American Revolution. I think I've sealed the deal, Kinga.
I have an artist's proof for the very first Washington dollar bill made back in 1869. I also have 3 theatrical props from Edwin Forrest, the most famous stage actor of the 1800s. But I can only choose one. Hi, Wally, how are you? Thank you, sir. I have some great information about your pieces. Most likely, all of these did belong to Edwin Forrest. The one that we could authenticate was the sword right here that was in the play Coriolanus.
Oh, fabulous.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's especially exciting because Coriolanus was his favorite Shakespearean play.
Really?
Yes.
And our expert values these all together at about $4,000.
Oh, that's very exciting.
That is exciting.
That's great. Thank you so much.
It's a tough choice, but I'm placing my bet on the dollar bill. And now it's time to find out which object will be chosen as America's lost treasure.
I'm so excited that my proof might be selected by National Geographic. It's amazing.
I hope that it gets chosen, and I've really wondered ever since I was a little boy as to how it was used by Robert Morris, and I really hope that Curt has the answers.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We have 2 amazing objects here, but of course, only one of them can be presented to the world at an exhibit at the National Geographic Museum in Washington, D.C. And fortunately, Curt and I do not have to make this decision alone. We have Catherine Kane from the National Geographic Society to help us do just that.
Kinga, I'm gonna let you go first this time.
Okay. Catherine, let me introduce you to Richard and Dylan Jensen.
Hi.
And what they have brought to me is this dollar proof. It was created by their ancestor, Alfred Seeley. Now, Alfred Seeley was a very prominent engraver. So what we needed to do was we needed to authenticate this proof. We took it to a conservatory, we put it under a microscope, and lo and behold, it's the real deal. We were so excited. Now, our historian said that this is absolutely a piece that belongs in a museum. Not only that, it is worth $2,000.
Wow, not bad.
Dylan, what do you think?
That's a lot of money.
It sure is.
All right, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, well, this is Tony Morris. His ancestor is Robert Morris, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. And what this is it's a letter stamp seal for the wax seals. And what we wanted to find out is exactly how it was used. So we took it to the Historical Society of Pennsylvania, and there we determined basically that this was used more for personal use. It was more of an ornamental piece. So with that, we had our appraiser take a look at it and put a value on this at about $10,000. Wow. So, extremely important man and something that he used in his personal life.
Wow, very impressive indeed. What I love about both of these artifacts is that the people associated with them are important historical figures from the American Revolution. Here we are in Philadelphia. That seems to make a lot of sense to me. I also love that both of these things have descended down through the families of the original owners. That's really unusual. I've made my decision, and the artifact that I'm going to choose is the Seeley engraving of George Washington. Get up close to that proof and you look at the detail of that etching and you understand the process of engraving. It's spectacular. It's so precious and so finely done. I just had to choose it.
It was so close.
It was close, Curt, but ultimately he was in my favor.
He was a founding father. He signed the Declaration of Independence. He financed the revolution. He signed the petition against the Stamp Act.
It's done. I won.
It's original.